When the doubt gets loud, but answer that call. Vision ain't real till you grind at speed, so breathing deep. Then call the damn leads. Call the damn leads.
Hey, welcome back to Call the Damn Leads, the show by sales professionals for sales professionals. I'm your host, Drewbie Wilson. With more than 2 decades in sales, I've seen it, been through it, heard about it. Now I'm bringing it to you, my favorite people in the world, the sales community. So let's be honest, this is the greatest job on earth. Doesn't matter where you come from, what background, what personality type, you can make an amazing life in sales. Today's guest, no stranger to the journey, I'd like to welcome Billy Sammons to the show.
How are we doing today, man? How are we doing? Excited to be here. It's the days like this where it's a little chilly outside that when I drop the kids off at the bus and stuff, it feels like I'm taking a cold plunge. Like just because it's like 30 degrees. It's like my little mini version. It's about as close as I get to a cold plunge is just stepping outside, walking the kids to the bus. So it's a lot of fun and I'm nice and awake now.
I love it. I am not a cold plunge fan. I've done it a handful of times, and y'all can keep that for yourselves. I'm not going to do it.
That's awesome.
That said, man, I'm excited to have you. I want to jump right in. I want to hear your crazy sales story.
Cool. Oh, so it's so much like crazy. It's more progressive, right? So I started in the very beginning as a teacher, and so at some point I don't sit still very well. I think it's probably relatable. Knowing what I know about you, the sitting still part is probably So we started flipping houses in the summer, and that led to getting into real estate. And I kind of left the teaching stuff behind and got into real estate more. And doing that, you can see there's such saturation. Like you can't even walk through the grocery store without bumping into 10 realtors. Like they're everywhere, all over the place. And so I'm like, I have to do something that's different. I got to differentiate myself. I got to be somebody that's not like everybody else. And so one of the things I loved doing was being out in the community and helping local businesses. And so I'm like, you know what? I think this would be fun. Let me just go out and start like making commercials for local business owners. And I just started like doing it. And I did it to kind of position myself as like the local expert. And I've been doing this for like 15 years now. So you can imagine that first one, the quality was not that great, but I was out there and I was doing it. And so as I started doing it, it started snowballing, right? The next business is like, hey, I saw you did that for so-and-so. Can you do one for me? And then you just start getting out there. And then the residual, the fact that I didn't think about it first, because again, I was just trying to help my community know all the local businesses to make them feel like they're a part of the community when they bought and sold homes. Mm-hmm. But the owners started becoming great referral partners. And I'm like, you know what? This is something I didn't think of at first. And so you start getting referrals from them. And then you start getting into their audiences and you start meeting all their people, because if their people likes the brewery or the coffee shop and you're helping them and sharing, all of a sudden you're into their audience too. And I'm like, I might be on to something. So for the last 15 years, I've been cranking away doing warm marketing, providing things for local businesses. And I've been growing my whole business doing it that way.
I am a huge fan of marketing. You know, being a sales guy my whole life, it was kind of like get out there, talk to people, sell stuff. And if you've ever had to like reposition yourself and to a new offer or a new community, especially, it's like, okay, but like, who do I talk to? And I think a lot of sales professionals miss out on that local vibe, that community vibe. And so I love the idea of warm marketing, but like, what's your version of it? Like, what does that mean to you for those that aren't familiar with marketing terminology?
Yeah. So a lot of people love the idea of giving and they love warm marketing, right? If anybody could build their business on warm marketing, most people I think would, just because it's so steady and it's so much easier. But they don't, either they don't know where to start, or B, they just hop out there and start giving and without any like focus, and they burn out or they don't get where they're going. And it's just very frustrating for them. So for me, being able to go out and give them something, I usually do video commercials. That's really my thing. And that's where my business really exploded. If they're so camera shy, they won't do the video, I'll do a podcast and we'll sit down with them. I don't do the podcast in the same sense that like you do, like we're drawing an audience and I'm going out there to make connections with people. I want to meet that business owner. I want to give them something of value that they can use. I want to get them in front of my audience, and I want to meet their audience. And so it's kind of a mindset shift. It's a little bit different than the typical, but it seems to be working, and it's not that hard. You don't need all you need is your phone, which has already got a camera on it, a lapel mic, and a tripod. For under $100, you could do this whole thing. So no matter what level of sales you are, you can do it. And then you'll start meeting people right away.
Yeah, and I'm just going to say publicly, so you can all hold me accountable and message me and tell me how terrible I am. But like, I'm one of those people that in the moment, I forget to get that warm marketing, right? I forget to set up the tripod and get the testimonials and getting people talking about the things that they got value from the conversation or the keynote presentation. So I'm taking as much of this, for those of you who aren't paying attention to what Billy's dropping for you here, the gems. I think there's so much value in that. And as you said, it's when you're helping the other person feel in a position of authority by providing them value first in a way that's not like overly aggressive, right? Because I think that's the key.
Yeah. Or even cheesy or disingenuous. Like, I was genuinely want to help them. Like, they can smell it from local business owners can smell you from a mile away if you're just trying to get sales. Like, if you go in there and do that video and then turn around and be like, hey, I'm trying to sell you something, it's not going to do anything. Just give to them, get them in front of your audience, and genuinely try to help them with their business. You don't have to take anything, just give, do it with intention. These are the people I want to meet. These are the business owners that align with my values that I'm proud to be a part of, and just introduce them to your audience and just get them out there. And it's a low barrier of entry, like I said. And most businesses, they'll be a little leery at first, like, what's in it for you? But after you do a few, you start getting known and you start these wild opportunities. And you start meeting all the different people you had no expectation. Like, one time we found ourselves at a charity gala. I didn't really know anybody. They're like, hey, can you come do some footage and do some stuff? And I ended up meeting like all these different donors and all these like business owners and like high-end business owners. And I'm like, I got a chance to meet all these people. I didn't do anything except help all these local businesses and give. And you build that trust in your community. It's just you see opportunities you didn't expect. It's fun.
It is. And I love this conversation because I think there's so many different ways to be successful in sales, right? Yep. There's kind of you got leads, you call the leads, you make sales. And also, though, for a lot of you who are listening, that local market, the people around you, like, we forget that there's tens of thousands of like individuals just in our local community that we could potentially be helping or having conversations with. And I think the big key to this is you kind of touched on it, though, is like not being salesy about it, being genuinely interested in other people and like what they're up to, which can be difficult because, people are selfish. Like, let's not draw straws here. Like, it is what it is. However, I think there's something to be said about the idea of where can I create value so that their audience, the people around them, see me as that authority, that person. So, like, how long does it take typically when you start getting in and meeting these new people? Like, what's your approach and how do you do it in a way that's not aggressive but isn't wasting time? Because I think that's the big key to it, right? We've all, not everybody, but I think a lot of people have been like, man, I spent a lot of time, it didn't get me anywhere. So how do you draw that line?
Yeah, so I mean, it's a twofold answer, right? So first, I have a 5-day challenge that I used to give away for people that are like, I'm not sure if this is for me. I want them to test drive it. And so I tell people I can get somebody in your CRM in 5 days. It's not that hard. It's very easy. But it depends on what you're selling too. Like I said, I'm in real estate. Like, people don't buy and sell houses very often. Like, that's a tough question to answer. But if you're in something that's like selling more frequently or something that's in alignment with some of these local businesses, it can happen very quickly, right? It all depends on what you're selling and your level of patience and what industry you're in. But I can get people in your CRM through the system in like 5 days. Even if you're aggressive like you would be. Like, if I gave this to you, 2 days, you'd be out in front of people in 2 days. You would not wait. You would crank this thing out and you'd be in front of people not a problem. It just kind of gives you like an intentional way to get out in front of people, so that way you're aligning with people that align with your business and your values, and you're not wasting your time. So it's just very focused. And so you could do it, not a problem. And if you're somebody who's just getting started and don't know anybody, it can still work. It worked for me a little bit better in the sense that, like, I knew some of the business owners already. Like, I went to the brewery, my very first video, or I went to the bakery. And so they saw me a lot. And so when I went in there to offer something, they're like, yeah, we see you in here all the time. And I'd say to people, like, you probably frequent local businesses that you could start with. And if you don't, just start hitting them up. Be like, hey, listen, I do commercials. I do this. I want to help you out. And at some point, somebody's going to say yes. And then once you have a product, you have that video, you can say, move on to other people. Hey, I made this one for the flower shop. Here, take it out. I'll come do one for you too. And then once they see that you made it, and they probably know the flower shop, you start building that trust and you start building that reputation. And then once you're there talking to them, like, hey, Mr. Flower Shop owner, do you know anybody else? I do this for free. Who else do you know? And they're like, oh yeah, you need to go down a few doors down and talk to the tax guy, or you need to go down and talk to this person. Tell them I sent you. And before you know it, this whole thing just picks up and you have more videos and more commercials than you need. You meet all the people. So it's not hard, not low barrier of entry. Like I said, though, it all depends on what you sell, how frequently you make these sales. It depends what you're in,
Yeah, and I want to touch on that for a second, because I think especially with social media the way that it is, there's a lot of people who are essentially becoming personal brand ambassadors, like influencers, another term you could use there. But like, to me, all I hear in that is like the strategy of, okay, if I'm trying to start up a marketing business, or I'm trying to start up a videography business or something, I'm going to literally just go to the places that I frequent first, right? What pizza shop do you go to? What store do you go buy beer at? Whatever, right? And just like, hey man, I don't want to be weird about this, but would it be cool if I pulled out my camera and did a little video for your store? I do some online brand stuff and I would love to share. I think this is a great place. I come in here all the time. Would that be cool with you? And they're probably going to be like, yeah, absolutely. Right? Like, why wouldn't it be cool? And so now you get to build that relationship. And it is twofold, because again, if you're good at what you do, you can leverage social media as a great way to get into your community and tag people and put in, hashtags, whatever. And so this is just my nerdy marketing brain, kind of like all of you that are trying to make the excuse, right? Everybody that's trying to make the excuse.
There's no excuse. The excuse I usually get is I'm camera shy. Okay, not a problem. What I usually do with these videos is I just do interview style. Like, I put the camera there, I put on a little tripod, and I ask the business owners the who, what, where, when, how. That's it. That's all you need. And then you sit there and chat with them a little bit. You're probably interested in their business. You're going there all the time. How'd you get started? Where'd this all come from? Where do you get their supplies? Who's your perfect customer? Just ask them the questions you're worried, like you really want to know the answers to. And then take that little video, go back, edit it, chop it all up. And I always get people, oh, I'm afraid to be on camera. And I always tell them, great. That makes me more successful because I'm brave enough to get my butt out there. I love it when other realtors are like, hey, I hate being on camera. Perfect. I love you, because I'm going to end up selling more houses than you, because you just got to step outside. You just got to do the work. So
this is such a fun topic for me, because I love helping to break the excuse of, I too was very camera shy. Now I record probably a dozen episodes of podcasts a week where I'm on video, I'm on Zoom, I'm doing keynote presentations in front of rooms. Like next week, I'm speaking to 300 real estate agents in Columbus.
Dang, that's awesome.
So you do have to get out of your comfort zone if you want to build your business, if you want to build your brand. But and I would love your perspective on this, Billy. I don't know if you've ever heard of this or done this, but for me, one of the things I did early on is on Facebook, every day, it'll tell you whose birthday it is. And so what I'll do is I'll pull up the birthdays list and I'll pull my phone out and hey, it's Drewbie. I saw you were, it's your birthday. I just want to say happy birthday. Tell you how much I appreciate all your support over the years. If there's anything you ever need, I'm always here for you. Otherwise, crush the day, have a great one and enjoy your birthday. Have some fun. And I would just send 5 to 10 of those a day. And it was awkward and it was weird. And they always felt strange. But at the end of the day, that was the most genuine way for me to make that conversation. And I think from a sales perspective, a lot of people have that call reluctance. They're reluctant to walk in and talk to a business owner. They're a little nervous, and it's okay to be nervous, right? Where if you haven't done this 100 times, but what would you say is one of the big ways that you help people overcome that fear of like, I'm afraid to go and talk to somebody because I don't want to bother them, or I don't want to, interrupt their day?
Oh, so you're adding value. That's where the energy and the passion comes in. So when my very first video 14 years ago, the brewery just opened up, and like people, they have no idea it's back there. It's, how they are. They're tucked away in the cul-de-sac, like an industrial park. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of afraid to do this, but I really want people to know they're back there. I want that business to do well. I want them to succeed. And if I can get 10 more people through their door, that's 10 more sales. It's more opportunities for them to, stay open. If you have that energy that I'm really giving to them because I want to see them do well, you get that. You take that step. You become more brave. Because if you're listening to this and you're thinking about doing it, you have something to offer. You do. You have the podcast ability. You've got a video, do commercials. You have those skills. And if you don't, you can learn them. You're all smart people. I know your audience. They're smart people. Do it, because that business needs you. And I would tell myself when I got the most frightened, when it was cold and I didn't know that business owner, I'm like, they need me. They need me to go out there, and they need me to do a little bit of commercial for them. They need my audience. They need more traffic. And if they don't do well, if I see a for sale sign out there, that's me. It's not really me, but I tell myself it's me. It's my fault. It's not. But I mean, if I would have done a little bit more, I could have helped them. They could have stayed open maybe. So get over it. Help somebody out. Give.
That is such a great, it's going to be difficult, listener, who's hearing this and being like, sometimes you just got to lie to yourself a little bit and say, listen, I am going to be the reason that this business absolutely crushes it. I'm going to be the reason.
Yep. It's energizing.
And you said something too that I really appreciated, and I don't want to oversee the nuance of it for the listener. You had said, hey, if I'm the reason 10 people walk in the door to this business, that's 10 more sales. And so I want to break that down a little bit, because there's such a value around future framing the return on their investment to letting you take 10, 20 minutes to record a video, right? Like, they're giving up time. Time is going to be the thing that is most valuable to them, because they know how to make money. They're a business owner, objectively, right? Not all businesses make money. However, that's different conversation, different day. But you mentioned, hey, they're going to take a little time to do this recording with you, to do this video. And that's where you can explain to them that, hey, on average, when we do these for other locations, they see an extra 15 to 20 people come in the door over the next week to 2 weeks. And so if that's something that you'd be interested in, like, I'd love to make sure that we track that. And if you're asking people, hey, how did you find us, or how did you hear about us, just make a note if they say they saw the video.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, there's so many different levels, right? So when we teach this stuff, there's so much stuff. So when I first started, I would just throw it on YouTube. Boom, done. YouTube. I had to try to get some hits. Now, I mean, it's been a long time. You put it on YouTube, and that's where stores, like, people can see it. I put it on social media. A great is another place and get some hits. I repeat it every couple of weeks on social media, because if you share it once, you're not doing them justice. Share it every couple of weeks. Share it out there. Split it up. Make little reels, make like some stories. Share it out that way. You got 4 or 5 pieces of content right there. I put it in my email, send it out to all my people. Like, hey, here's a business you need to check out. And watch your open rates. When you start sharing local business stuff instead of selling stuff in your email, watch those open rates. See how that goes. If you're selling something in your email every Friday, and then you shift and you start giving them knowledge and information about what's going on in their community, see what happens. See how it goes. And then my new favorite one, and I do this a lot more now, is I DM and text them. I really niche down. And that's where you can beat those big box stores, is niching down, getting small, getting granular. I have a list of people I need to follow up with today. I'm going to send them the new food truck video. I'm going to send them this. I'm going to have a reel. I'm going to share it to them in the DMs. I'm going to text it to them. And you can get a huge reach. You can do a lot of follow-ups, and you're not pestering them. You're not asking them how the family's doing over and over again, which drives them nuts. You're giving them something value in their community, and you're doing it on a regular basis. And they'll open it, and they'll thank you for it. How many people thank you for following up? It happens, but not as much as if you were giving them something they could use. So there's a lot of ways to get that content out there.
Oh, Billy, you are just dropping some absolute friggin' gems on these people today, because it's one of those things, right? When you have the content and you're creating a relationship, worst case scenario, you're sending them something that you're excited about and you're wanting to share it with people. And so, hey, I just did another video. We just did another podcast. Hey, I wrote this blog about this thing that I think you might be of interest in. And that is such a great way to get around I don't want to bother them and follow up too much. Exactly. I don't want to seem salesy. And so I love that your approach was the same thing that ultimately is what allowed me to get where I am, right? And it's every day when I'm looking in my CRM and I'm going, all right, well, what little thing can I tweak? Where can I add that text message? Or where can I update that email? And how can I make it just more value first? Because again, I say this a lot to people in the home service business. If you will literally just create content that tells people how to fix the problem that they're running into, they're going to find you. They're going to watch it. They're going to go, I have no interest in digging my hand in a dirty, crappy toilet. So I'm calling John's plumber, and they're going to come and take care of it for me because I saw him on the YouTube, and then they saw, I love that approach. And so, Billy, man, we could probably nerd out on marketing and sales and all this forever, but I want to be respectful of your time. How do people come find you, follow you, check out more of your content? Because I know you're, going to be a giver. So I want to come check it out as well. How do we come find it out?
Easy. All of this on the website. If you go to www.livelocalmoremarketing.com, on there you can find the blog and you can find the LinkedIn account. You can find all that stuff. You can do the free 5-day challenge. Remember, I started the whole thing as a teacher. And so I try to give away stuff as much as I can because I still have that like giving, let me show you how it works and see if you're interested. And if you take the 5-day challenge and you're like, I'll stick to my cold leads. Cool. It is for everybody's got their thing. But if you go through it and you're like, I think I want some more. This is a sample. This is a good taste. Hop in there, take the course, try it out. At the end of the course, you'll see a link for Calendly. When you're done, I'll even sit down with you and go over your marketing and make sure we work together to fit your calendar and that it's what you want to do and that it all jives and give you some feedback on what works for me and what hasn't been working. And so I can give you that one-on-one at the very end to make sure, because I want you to actually implement it. Taking the class is great. Can you do it? Because I think this is really good for communities. And if I can get more people to do it, the communities will get stronger. Local businesses will get stronger. I think it's just a positive impact you'll make on your community. And I want to be able to give you the resources you need to do that.
I love it. Billy, this has been a blast. So let me personally thank you again for your time, man. This has been awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. So thank you. I appreciate you having me on and then let's do it again sometime, man. This is fun.
Love it. Well, listen, if you guys enjoyed the show, go share it on social media, tag us, let the world know you got some value out of investing your time here with us today, because we said earlier that's your most valuable asset. And if you liked it, someone else will probably like it too. If you know somebody who sucks at marketing, right? Like maybe they need to get out there and promote themselves because they have a great product, they have a great service, but they're just a little nervous. Send them this episode. You don't have to tell them that they suck, but just like, hey, I heard this. Made me think of you. I thought you should give it a listen. That's a valued follow-up. Billy just told you exactly this is the kind of stuff that helps you stay in front of people.
It works.
And then make sure you leave us a review. Go listen to the other episodes. If you have a crazy sales story you want to be on here with us, head over to callthedamnleads.com/podcast. Send us your details. Go check out the store. Grab a hat. Grab a keychain. Grab some swag. Otherwise, you know what to do from here. Go pick up the phone. Go call the damn leads. We'll see you next time.
When the doubt gets loud, but answer that call. Vision ain't real till you grind at speed, so breathing deep. Then call the damn leads. Call the damn leads.